Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson. Also on BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county seat of state, Tennessee. Today's date is Monday morning, May the 11th, 2026. Time 8:30 a.m. Appreciate thanking my family, my support, for you continue to keep myself employed. In the Memphis tri-state area, continue to further my education. Like studying B administration, contract marketing, trying to earn my associate's degree. And I took a break and going to school, but I do intend to go back to school and earn my associate's degree and continue to study B administration, contract marketing, as well as earn other degrees. Now, I'm gonna start my Facebook Live. Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson. Also on BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county seat, in the state of Tennessee. And today's date is Monday morning, May the 11th, 2026. Time is 8:32 a.m. First, I thank my family, my support for you, team. Encourage support, continue to keep myself employed in this Memphis tri-state area. I'm continuing to further my education by trying to pursue my associate's degree, studying B administration, contract and marketing. At the time I took a break from going to school, I do intend to go back to school and work toward earning my associate's degree in B administration, contract and marketing, as well as other degrees. Now, first I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, for all the blessings and guidance He provides us all with. Continue to pray about natural disasters and continue to pray about wars that are being fought, that it be peace, and just continue to pray without ceasing. And I know that on yesterday, Sunday, yesterday was Sunday, and it was Mother's Day. So, I hope and pray that in and everybody that you had a safe and happy Mother's Day celebration. And so, I can just understand, I was off from work and my, was safe and happy Mother's Day and day off from work and everything. And, I'm not going to be long with today's video. It was not my intent to start my video. I'm just going to honestly say that I had my alarm clock set and I'm just going to admit I had my alarm clock set and I messed around and I ain't going to even say the snooze button. I just set my alarm clock honestly, got back in bed, man. I'm just gonna be honest. Ain't no need to just admit the truth, man. I set my alarm clock for a certain time to wake up, and it did go off, and I did get up and turn the alarm clock off. That's all I did. And then got back in the bed. So when I did get up, when I finally got out of bed, oh boy. Hey, but I ain't about 30 minutes, no more than an hour today, so, but I hope and pray that any and everybody had a, happy Mother's Day celebration. I really do. And, Mother's Day is one of those like Mother's Day and Father's Day. I think those are good holidays to have, to celebrate the mothers and celebrate fathers, and, stand for the family, and encourage young men to get a wife and have a family, encourage young women to have a husband and have a family. So, and just want to continue on today's video. To go to the Holy Bible. Now this is the King James Version. Genesis chapter 1, verse number 1. In the beginning, God. He didn't say more than one. He said God. He didn't say gods, not plural, singular. God created the heaven and the earth. Genesis chapter 1, verse number 1. And I'm also going to read from the book of Exodus, chapter 20, starting at verse number 1, and then we're going to end at number 17, the Ten Commandments. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So we just read the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Hold up. So, like I said, I just read the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Now, we're gonna touch on just a little something, 'cause we know we always come back. But I want to just give a reminder, okay? Like we just got through reading the Holy Bible. One God, one God, one. The belief, the faith. I didn't say religion. I want you to catch that, because when we talk about religion, religio, we're gonna. But we know, we believe, we have faith that there's one. Monotheism. Theo, the Greek word God. Ology, the study of God, theology. Monotheism. One God, one. The belief, the faith, one God. The Holy Bible. Now, contrary to that, poly, more than one. Polytheism, more than one. We just gonna remind. We ain't finna go in depth. I'm just making sure that we remind It's a reminder because we're going to come back on my next video. We're going to pick up right where we left off. But like I said on today's video, I didn't wake up and all, we ain't got to go back over there, so on and so forth. So, we ain't got to go. We ain't got to go into all that again. Okay. But, okay. But, contrary to mono is poly, more than one God. Now, the belief, the faith, and then there's also a belief that there's no God. Now, this whole thing came from this Indo-European viewpoint. Historically, that's where that came up. This Indo-European viewpoint that it was no God. And when you go all, like anthropologists do, they go all over the world, and archaeologists too. And they, investigate cultures and customs of people on the planet, linguistics and all that. You don't find this, what you say, that there's no God amongst, like it's common, like it is something that has been, just like when we talk about prehistoric, you couldn't even say that there was any idea that there was any such thing as that there was no God. But when you say prehistoric, you find speculation that, I'm going to say speculation, because there's really no definite, conclusive to say that people, just like those burials. That's the reason why I'm saying that, because the burials, then the Venus figurines and things like that, and like burying bodies. And then when they buried the body, they had grave goods in the grave. So there was speculation that this was some kind of belief in the afterlife. Paintings on the wall and things in there. So we're gonna come back on this. So, but to say that there's evidence that what you call belief and faith that there's no God, you don't find you don't find it in that way. You don't find it in that way. You don't anthropologists, archaeologists all around the world, they looking. You don't find, but what you start finding then is something that the scientists said this. They'll speculate about the grave goods and burying the bodies. But you got ancestor worship that, you got fertility worship. See, there's a period of time when it becomes something that's being done by people on this earth, on this globe, on this planet. Where people saying that they believe, they have faith. You understand? Those fertility. They have belief, they have faith that there's a higher power. So, now, Now, before I go into some, because I don't want to spend, like I said today, I don't want to just put some and then have to come back and then spend more time on it than what, but and so like I said, you got monotheism, and then on the other side you got polytheism. Now, so like I said, just want to touch on one thing. I want to make sure that that I say, okay, when we said something about scientific research, that's what I want to make sure. Scientific research, then we want to get to. We want to make sure that when we say something based on scientific research, when you say that there's no God, well, the scientific research even says something about polytheism and monotheism. It says something like, based on scientific research, that in the ancient world, based on scientific research, historically and modern context, almost all ancient religions were polytheistic, including the Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, and Mesopotamians, where gods were intimately involved in daily life and natural events. So that's the reason why I say scientific research, ancient world, but to say that it wasn't, people didn't have like a belief that there was a God or more than one God, belief that there was nothing. No. Scientific research said that people did believe, whether it be more than one or one. They believed that there was a higher power. So we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. Because we're going to come back on next video. We're going to pick up right where we left off. Now, one God, monotheism. Then let me say this about monotheism. Now you have when you come to what you believe, when it comes to exclusive monotheism, the belief in only one God, which is the standard view in Islam and Judaism. Now you have Trinitarian monotheism. Christianity maintains a belief in one God existing in three persons, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. In this monolateralism, the recognition of the existence of many gods, but with the consistent worship of only one deity. Now, okay, so we're aware of that. And so, now from a historical concept, okay. In the ancient Near East, monotheism was largely unknown in the ancient Near East, outside of ancient Israel, where the worship of Yahweh grew from a focus on one God to an absolute exclusive belief. Now you have ancient Egypt. The earliest known instance of monotheism dates to the reign of Akhenaten in the 14th century BC. BC now, with the Aten cult. Now when you have Abrahamic roots, all major monotheistic faiths share a common heritage in the tradition of Abraham. Okay. Now let me click over here to polytheism to say something about what modern, what scientific research, we'll say scientific research. Now, we have variations and related concepts. Now, henotheism or monolatry, the recognition of many gods while focusing devotion on one, without denying the existence of others. Now, what they say about animism, often linked to polytheism, this involves belief in numerous spiritual forces in nature, nature-based. Many polytheistic systems, such as in many African and indigenous traditions, emphasize the sanctity and natural forces and ancestral spirits. So what they're really saying is dealing with, when you're talking about animism and nature-based, you start talking about these spirits. And in saying that, that's what they're trying to say. Spiritual forces in nature. But it didn't really just get to saying God. But you're talking about the spirits. And then so when you talk about the nature base, you'll say many polytheistic systems such as many African and indigenous traditions emphasize the sanctity of natural forces and ancestral spirits. So I want to touch on that because I know that when scientists say animism, you notice they ain't put shaman. You notice they ain't say shaman. But when you say animism, you directing this animism title toward, like African, and then when you said nature-based, like African indigenous tradition, all this about the spirits. But when you talk about traditional African religion, African traditional religion or ancient African religions, you often hear a title of, this supreme being having a name. One name. One name. So when we talk about monotheism and polytheism, things of this nature, we talking about from a scientific viewpoint. You say one monotheism, blah 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 blah, and then polytheism, blah 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 blah. Okay. So like I said, we dealing with the Holy Bible, monotheistic, one God. From the beginning of the Holy Bible to the back of the Holy Bible to the end. One. One God. One. Abrahamic religion, Judaism and Christianity. Where, like they said, exclusive monotheism, and then you can just say Trinitarian monotheism in the New Testament. But monotheism, exclusive monotheism in the Old Testament, Trinitarian monotheism, New Testament. Okay, monotheism. All right, hey. And so, like I said, and then when you talk about African traditional religion, traditional African religion, ancient African religion, okay. To talk about the spirits as well as shaman now, because it's gonna be like. It's like you see me sitting here and nobody else. I'm finna show you about African traditional religion and how we talk about it. You see me. I'm gonna give you a good example. You talk about African traditional religion, traditional African religion, okay? Ancient African religion. But who talking about it? If a person from an African nation, from the Congo, talk about their culture and their customs. But if you have somebody talking about the culture and the custom of the Congo, who not from the Congo, Now, the Johnson family. If I talk about the Johnson family, how can I talk about the Johnson family? Because I'm the son. Mama, daddy, my uncle. I can talk about the Johnson family on mama's side and daddy's side. Because they my relative, immediate family. Daddy, mama, and siblings. But I know because I'm the son. So I can talk about the Johnson family. You see, that's a damn good example. Because I'm the family. I'm the son. So I can talk about the Johnson family. I'm the son. Daddy, mama, even my uncle, my daddy's little brother. I can talk about the family because I'm the son. I'm the nephew. See, I'm the grandson. On my daddy and mama's side, I'm the grandson. So I can talk about the Johnson family. Somebody else who not in the Johnson family, they can't talk about the Johnson family. They can only talk about what limited information that they have. They can go do a background check. And that's the only thing you can talk about. You don't have intimate conversations that me and my mama had or my daddy. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that relationship because you're not part of the family. You're not related. So only thing you can talk about is what's on paper. That's all you can talk about the Johnson family is what's on paper. Because you outside the family. But to be directly related to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I'm the son, so I can talk about the family because that's my mother, and that's my father, and that's my uncle. I can talk about it. But somebody else, hey, only thing you can do is talk about what's on paper. It's the only thing you can say, well, that guy there, his name is Eric Dwayne Johnson, and he's this age, and his mother is such and such, his father is such and such, but that's on paper. That's all you can do. Talk about what's on paper, but you are not directly, not even indirectly related to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Same thing about Africa, the Congo. You can't So like I said, monotheism in the Holy Bible. You got in the Old Testament, exclusive monotheism. In the New Testament, Trinitarian monotheism. Okay? But it's monotheism. One God. Okay? Now, when we talk about dualism in cosmology, let me say this. We got dualism and then you got cosmology. So cosmology is the scientific study of the universe's origin, evolution, structure, and ultimate fate. Ultimate fate encompassing the entire cosmos from the Big Bang to its present day expansion. And it merges theoretical physics, general relativity, and observational astronomy to understand dark matter, dark energy, and structure formation. Okay. Now let's touch on something here. Okay, that's cosmology. So that's, and then in cosmology you have what? Dualism in cosmology. Okay. So they were talking about the universe, talking about its origin. Okay. The universe's origin, evolution, structure, and ultimate fate. Okay. All right. And let me touch on this too about cosmology. Is the branches of cosmology. I want you to catch this. Physical cosmology uses scientific methods and observations to test models. Okay. Philosophical, metaphysical cosmology explores the nature of reality in space and time. So, when you talk about cosmology, philosophy is not above cosmology. It's a branch. Now let me click over here. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that examines the basic structure of reality. It is traditionally seen to study the mind, independent features of the world, but some theories view it as inquiry in the conceptual framework of human understanding. Some philosophers, including Aristotle, designate metaphysics as the first philosophy to suggest it is more fundamental than other forms of philosophical inquiry. So let's click over here to philosophy. Philosophy, pay attention, is a systematic study of general, all right, and fundamental questions. Stop. Stop right there. Read that again. Philosophy is a systematic study of general and fundamental, be careful now, watch it, questions concerning topics like existence, knowledge, mind, reason, language, and value. It is a rational and critical inquiry that reflects on its methods and assumptions. Okay, so you asking all these questions. Ask all these questions. All right. Okay. All right. You got to ask all these questions. Pay attention to this. Major branches of philosophy. Careful now. I want you to pay attention now. What are the branches of philosophy? Epistemology, ethics, logic, and metaphysics. And so epistemology studies what knowledge is and how to acquire it. Ethics investigates moral principles and what constitutes right conduct. Logic is the study of correct reasoning and explores how good arguments can be distinguished from bad ones. Metaphysics examines the most general features of reality, existence, objects, and properties. Then you got subfields: aesthetics, philosophy of language, philosophy of mind, philosophy of religion, philosophy of science, philosophy of mathematics, philosophy of history, and political philosophy. But cosmology was not there. Because what is philosophy? Click back over. a branch. Branches. Physical, cosmology, and philosophical, metaphysical cosmology. All right. So cosmology is the scientific study of the universe's origin, evolution, structure, and ultimate fate. And it comes in the entire cosmos from the Big Bang to its present day expansion. It merges theoretical physics, general relativity, and observational astronomy to understand dark matter, dark energy, and structure formation. All right, so let me click back over. Dualism in cosmology. All right. Moral dualism is the belief of the great complement of or conflict between the benevolent and the malevolent. Okay. It implies there are two moral opposites in work, independent of any interpretation of what might be moral independent. Okay. Now, in moral opposites might, for example, exist in a worldview that has one God. Moral opposites now. It can be more than one God or none. They're just moral opposites. By contrast, though, duotheism, bitheism, and ditheism. Not just moral dualism, but duotheism, bitheism, or ditheism implies what? At least two gods. Two gods. Bitheism and ditheism, as well as duotheism. Two gods. While bitheism implies harmony, ditheism implies rivalry and opposition. And what that opposition, it can be between good and evil. It can be light and dark, or summer and winter. In a ditheism, one could be the God is the creator and the other a destroyer. Now you got this theology. In theology, dualism can also refer to the relationship between the deity and creation. Theistic dualism. That's theistic dualism. You can find that in some traditions of Christianity and Hinduism. And then you have this thing where you have ontological dualism, where the world is divided into two overarching categories. In some Chinese culture and philosophy, the opposition and combination of the universe, two basic principles are expressed as yin and yang. And you find that doctrine in Taoism and Confucianism and some Chinese Buddhism. All right, let's scroll down here. Let's go to moral dualism. All right, hold on. Okay, yeah. And that follows, when you have moral dualism, the belief of the great complemental conflict between the benevolent and the malevolent. Okay. All right. Now, when you have this like ditheism and bitheism, moral dualism does not imply the absence of monist or monotheistic principles. Moral dualism simply implies that there are two moral opposites at work, independent of any interpretation of what might be moral and unlike ditheism, bitheism, independent of how these may be represented. And so that, what they call it, monist. Don't waste my time. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. Monism attributes oneness or singleness to a concept such as to exist in various kinds of monism can be distinct. It ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. You got priority monism. Then existence monism. Substance monism. Dual aspect monism. I mean, when you read that nonsense, it don't have nothing to do with the Bible. Neutral monism, believe the fundamental. You can move on to something else. I'm gonna click back over. That's a waste of time. Now, so like I said, hey, bitheism and ditheism, you can throw that duotheism, it's two gods, two. And don't bring that monist stuff up, because it's going to make me bust upside the head with this damn microphone. Because they ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. They don't. They ain't got nothing to do with exclusive monism, and they most certainly don't have nothing to do with Trinitarian monism. So you can get up out of here with that monism. And then, when you be looking at this stuff, they gave you a few examples of how this moral dualism, like this Zoroastrianism, and then they gave, like this Manichaeism, and this Zervanism and all this. So this stuff is, you know what I'm saying? But it don't have nothing to do with the Holy Bible. See, that's what I'm trying to get you to do. Stop trying to make all this stuff like it got something to do with the Holy Bible, because it don't. Because you've been influenced by this Gnostic nonsense, and then trying to talk about some syncretized, and that's the same damn thing with this monist stuff. See, you've been misled by a bunch of criminals. Because there really was some people, they trying to commit crimes. And so they try to find some kind of stupid ass way to influence people. Now, we as black/African American were denied education. We were forcibly brought over here to North and South Central America, Mexico, and so on and so forth, to be slaves and were denied education. So the only education you got was from the slave owner, the slave master. They didn't tell you nothing right. Then read why you sit around and call yourself, listen to what your oppressor tell you. Now, we talked about this moral dualism. We're going to get to this radical and mitigated dualism. Radical dualism or absolute dualism posits two co-equal divine force. Two. Radical dualism. Two. Mitigated dualism. Two is where one of the two principles, pay attention, it's two, is in some way inferior to the other, but it's two. It's two. Radical dualism and mitigated dualism is two. It's two. Two gods. See, we finna bust up all this lying that people been doing. Been lying. You keep trying to, all that syncretized shit. Hey, moral dualism is two. Radical dualism and mitigated dualism is two. It's two. Get straight to the damn point. It's two. More than one. God damn it. More than one. It's two. Just like in theistic dualism. Pay attention. What's the two in Christianity? The two is God and the universe. Not two gods. In Christianity, theistic dualism, the two is God and the universe, or its creation. And the creation is not God. It's just two. That's what theistic dualism means in Christianity. But the creation, the universe is not God. It just said theistic dualism. Now there are other theistic dualism, which is the Zoroastrians and the Manichaeans. They believe in two. That's where the mitigated and the radical dualism is two. Because in the radical, they co-equal. Radical dualism, they co-equal. In mitigated dualism, one is inferior, the other one is inferior. One is superior, the other one is inferior. But it's still two. They both gods. It's two. So radical dualism, they co-equal. Mitigated dualism is two. One superior, the other one inferior. It's two. Don't have nothing to do with this holy Bible. Don't have nothing to do with this holy Bible. Theistic dualism in Christianity, the dualism between God and the universe or creation. That's the dualism. The universe and the creation is not God. See, when you try to syncretize, you be lying. See, that way you be lying. You can't syncretize. More than one God, You cannot syncretize. The Old Testament, exclusive monotheism. The New Testament, Trinitarian monotheism. You can't syncretize. You can't syncretize. Get the hell up out of here with that damn monist shit. You ain't gonna get away with it. It don't have nothing to do with the Holy Bible. See, we'll have to bust this shit up. See, when you try to include all this shit in the Holy Bible, it ain't gonna work. See, all that trying to deny black/African Americans education. This is how you keep getting away with this damn bullshit. You deny people education, then you sit around these Indo-Europeans and with this damn trying to use and trying to be violent. Yeah, that's what the Indo-European did to other Indo-Europeans. Used and be violent. Because one thing you ain't going to say is that in and every Indo-European when you use and be violent, the influence, the way you persuade people is by being violent and using violence. And if you don't agree, they use violence and be violent. Like the barbarians, the Scythians, Hellenists, and all this having wars. Be violent, use violence. So we're going to come back. I want to make sure we touch on that. All right, before I end today's video, we're going to touch on this. All right, I want to see, when we were talking about beliefs and faith, and when we talk about monotheism and polytheism, you was, like hearing like spirits and making, when people study it, they were saying they polytheistic and all this. Okay, so African traditional religion, I'm going to read some things Okay, we're going to start with African traditional religion. Then we're going to read traditional African religion. Then we're going to read ancient African religion. Then we're going to read shamanism. African traditional religion refers to the diverse indigenous spiritual beliefs and practices that originated in Africa, predating Christianity and Islam. These oral traditions emphasize a supreme creator, ancestral veneration, community, and harmony with nature. It is a holistic way of life with beliefs deeply integrated into daily culture, medicine, and social order. Okay, key characteristics. Pay attention. No centralized founder. African traditional religion is passed down orally rather than through written scripture. Supreme God and divinity. Pay attention now. A belief in a high creator God exists, often considered distant, alongside a pantheon of lesser gods and spirits, polytheistic, pantheistic aspects. Ancestor veneration. Ancestors are seen as active intermediary between the living and the spirit world, providing guidance and protection. Animism, the belief that all natural elements, trees, rivers, mountains, possess a spiritual essence. Ritual and community focuses on maintaining a harmonious relationship with the divine through prayers, offerings, and rituals, blood sacrifice, rather than adherence to strict doctrine. Key practices and beliefs, rites of passage. Rituals marking major life transitions, birth, initiation, marriage, death are crucial. Spirituality in daily life. Religion is not separated from daily life, influencing healthcare, traditional medicine, agriculture, and social decisions. A role of specialists, priests, diviners, and healers, such as the Sangomas, are responsible for healing and telling the future. Common examples and regional differences. Yoruba religion, West Africa, focuses on orishas, deities, and destiny. Zulu religion, South Africa, emphasizes ancestral connection and the supreme creator. Voodoo, Vodun, West Africa, a highly organized system primarily practiced in Benin. Dogon religion, Mali, known for complex, high-level spiritual, astronomical, and natural knowledge. Modern context and syncretism. Syncretism, many Africans practice African traditional religion in combination with Christianity or Islam, leading to distinct Africanized expression of these faiths. Global diaspora. During the slave trade, African traditions spread to the Americas, evolving in traditions like Candomblé, Santeria, and Haitian Vodou. Demographics. While an estimated 100 million people practice some form of African traditional religion, many people blend them with other faiths. Okay, now that was African traditional religion. Let me click. Traditional African religion. African traditional religion refers to the diverse indigenous spiritual beliefs and practices that originated in Africa, predating Christianity and Islam. These oral traditions emphasize a supreme creator, ancestral veneration, community, and harmony with nature. It is a holistic way of life, with beliefs deeply integrated into daily culture, medicine, and social order. Key characteristics: no centralized founder. African traditional religion is passed down orally rather than through written scripts. Supreme God and divinities. A belief in a high creator God exists, often considered distant, alongside a pantheon of lesser gods and spirits, polytheistic and pantheistic aspects. Ancestor veneration. Ancestors are seen as active intermediaries between the living and the spirit world, providing guidance and protection. Animism, the belief that all natural elements, trees, rivers, mountains, possess a spiritual essence. Ritual and community focuses on maintaining a harmonious relationship with the divine through prayers, offerings, and rituals, blood sacrifice rather than adherence to strict doctrine. Key practices and belief, rites of passage, rituals marking major life transition, birth, initiation, marriage, death are crucial. Spirituality in daily life. Religion is not separated from daily life, influencing healthcare, traditional medicine, agriculture, and social disease. Role of specialists, priests, diviners, and healers such as the Sangomas are responsible for healing and telling the truth. Common examples and regional differences. Yoruba religion, West Africa, focuses on orishas, deities, and destiny. Zulu religion, South Africa, emphasizes ancestral connection and the supreme creator. Voodoo and Vodun, West Africa, a highly organized system primarily practiced in Benin. Dogon religion, Mali, known for complex high-level spiritual, astronomical, and natural knowledge. Modern context was and syncretism. Syncretism. Many Africans practice African traditional religion in combination with Christianity or Islam, leading to distinct Africanized expression of these faiths. Global diaspora. During the slave trade, African traditions spread to the Americas, evolving into traditions like candomblé, Santeria, and Haitian Vodou. Demographics. While an estimated 100 million people practice some form of African traditional religion, many people blend them with other faiths. Ancient African religions are diverse, indigenous spiritual systems focused on a supreme creator God, ancestor veneration, and the belief that spirits inhabit nature. They are generally characterized by oral traditions, community-based rituals, and a belief that the spiritual world influences daily life. Key traditions include the Yoruba, Nigeria, Akan, Ghana, and the Bantu-based belief systems across Central and Southern Africa. Core beliefs and aspects: supreme being, and divinity. Many traditions hold that a single creator God exists, but is often remote, leading followers to interact with lower deities or intermediaries like the Orisha. Ancestor veneration. Ancestors are viewed as guardians who maintain close ties to the living, guiding, protecting, and communicating with them. Animism and spirit world. It is commonly believed that nature, rivers, trees, mountains possess a spiritual essence. Sacred practice. Rituals include libations, animal sacrifice, ceremonies for daily life, naming, marriage, and dance, music to connect with the divine. Oral tradition. These faiths often lack written scripture, relying instead on oral tradition and rituals to pass down teachings. Key entities and entities. Orisha, Yoruba. Deities representing nature and human aspects including Shango, thunder, Yemaya, mother sea, and Oshun, love. Inyami, Akan, the supreme being often associated with the sky. Inkisi, Congo, spiritual entities or containers. Loa, spirits honored in traditions that evolve into the diaspora. Key traditions and geography. West Africa, Yoruba, Akan, and Vodou systems. Central and Southern Africa, Bantu mythology, including the Congo and Zulu traditions. East Africa, Kushite mythology, and Abaluya tradition. Northern Africa, ancient Egyptian religion, which is considered within the context of wider African traditions. Significance of ancient African religion. These religions offered a comprehensive moral system and a way to understand the cause behind events in life, such as misfortune or sickness, which are often believed to have spiritual roots. Today, they continue to influence African cultural practices, and have spawned major spiritual systems in America, such as candomblé and Santeria. All right. Now, shamanism. Shamanism is an ancient nature-based spiritual practice found globally, dating back tens of thousands of years, where practitioners, shamans, enter altered states of consciousness such as trance to interact with the spirit world. Shamanic practices aim to heal, divine the future, and bring balance and harmony to individuals and communities. Core beliefs and practices. Spirit world interacts. Shamans act as intermediary between the physical world and the spirit world, communicating with spirits of ancestors, nature, and animals. Altered states of consciousness. Practitioners often use drumming, dancing, singing, and sometimes plants to enter a trance or ecstatic state to engage in soul travel or dream time. Healing and well-being. The primary role of a shaman is healing. They believe that illness is often caused by spiritual imbalances or energy loss, and perform rituals to restore their energy. No central doctrine. Shamanism is not an organized religion with dogmas, holy books, or strict hierarchies, but rather a direct experience-based way of life. Nature-based faith path. Nature-based path. Shamanism emphasizes a deep connection with nature and the environment. The role of a shaman. Healer, treating illnesses both physical and spiritual. Guide, leading souls of the dead to the other world. Seer, predicting the future, finding lost objects and providing guidance. The mediator, maintaining balance between the community and spirit. Origins and global presence. Ancient tradition often referred to as the oldest human spiritual tradition, with potential roots in Paleolithic time, 30,000 years or more ago. Siberian roots. The term shaman originates from Siberia, particularly from the Tungusic word saman, which means one who knows. Global presence. Similar practices have been independently developed by indigenous cultures across every continent. All right. So we're going to come back on my next video. We're going to pick it back up and stop trying to waste my time with that damn monism. Ain't no but a damn waste of time. See, all that damn shit was made by the Indo-European. I don't know why you so damn stupid. It's just all they do is make up shit just like that atheist stuff. It's all them damn Indo-European did, made up a bunch of lies to control people with. They just lie. And then to spread that lie, to spread the lie, violence. It can be violent or use violence. But the lie they spread, that's how they spread that lie, violence. See, they force all the other Indo-European. You don't have no choice in the matter. In the Indo-European. It's just violence. That's how they maintain control. Be violent and use violence. You ain't got to prove nothing. Because hell, they ain't never proved nothing. It's just like that damn monism. You ain't going to never prove nothing. Just standing your ass, stupid ass around talking about some damn oneness. You ain't going to never prove nothing. Because they made it up. Just like the name, monism. Where it come from? They made it up. And your stupid ass just sits there and just go on. Now, before I end today's video, being that it's Mother's Day, you know, I got to get one in. I got to get one in. Leave one. Yeah, boy. I gotta get one in. Gotta get one joke in, too. It wouldn't be right. Okay, you know, this Mother's Day. And then, you know, my mom, I got my mom's picture back here. Miss Annabelle Johnson, my mother. Oh boy. Yeah, today is Mama's Day. Old Mama's boy. Oh, that be like over at the church or somewhere, be somewhere. Oh, look at that little baby. Yeah. He's that's a cute little baby. Oh, that's a cute little baby. Be like over the church. Oh, look at the little baby. Oh, look at her. He's looking. Shut up, Hope. I gotta get one in, man. Gotta get one in, man. Get one in. That hand, boy. Boy, get one in. Oh, boy. Oh, look at the little baby. Oh, look at him. Oh, that's Ann's baby. Oh, that's Ann's boy. Let me suck that titty. Okay. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh. Okay, man. Oh. Woo, boy. Oh, you know I had to get one in, man. I had to get one in. Oh, boy. I gotta get one in, man. And then, you know, before I leave, man, let me get a joke in, man. Hey, you know, oh boy, boy, being that it's Mother's Day, oh, and then, oh boy, being on the reality show, oh boy, and then it's Mother's Day. And so your mother, she trying to find out who the father. Oh boy, she trying to find out who the father. Oh boy, it is Mother's Day. Well, the little baby that growing up, he want to come on the reality show and tell his mama that he went back and looked at the video. Oh boy. To try to find out who his father is. Boy, goddamn, how they made us. He want to tell his mom on Mother's Day. He looked at that damn video. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ooh boy, I don't even want to repeat some of the stuff he said. Okay. Oh boy, let me end today's video. Boy. Man, I got what? Hour and a couple minutes. But I don't even want to go there, man. What? Today Mother's Day. I mean, yesterday was Mother's Day, so man, get one in. But I hope and pray that any and everybody had a safe and happy Mother's Day. And like I said, thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, for all the blessings, guys. He provides us all with, and continue to pray about natural disasters, and just continue to pray about the wars that are being fought. Pray, you know, and yeah. Now I was looking at the time. 5 more minutes would be an hour and 30 minutes. So you know, but the weather, you know, was pretty nice yesterday, you know, until the evening time. But I mean, right now it's pretty nice out there, you know. So the weather getting a little warm. I ain't forgot about my harmonica, you know. I'm just trying to let this, because you know it's still been kind of cold. I'm trying to just let the warm air come on, you know. You know, 'cause I don't want to be getting no sore throat and all this congestion and all this, still having runny nose and all this, you know, all this kind of stuff. So, you know. And so, like I said, man, you know, I was intending on starting my video earlier than what I did. I ain't set my clock, and, you know, the alarm clock went off, and I just turned the alarm clock off, and I just laid back down for a minute, man. My bad. But like I said, it's Mother's Day, man. Get a little joke in. I couldn't even tell you. It was funny because I just couldn't even go no further. After I thought about it, I said, man, you know, I really can't go that far. I really just couldn't. I just, man, the little baby that growed up. And he saw the video when his mom brought trying to find his dad. Oh boy. I just like, oh boy, I just couldn't go there. Oh boy. Woo. He want to bring him on the reality show. Oh, I just couldn't. Oh boy, I just couldn't go nowhere. Oh boy. And then when I sat there and think about it, it'd be fun. Oh boy. Oh boy. But I'm gonna try to let this minute. Then I make it an hour and 30 minutes. So, but sure. But make sure you pay attention. Sometimes, you know, when information is available to you, man, like the library, and when you look at Wikipedia, Wikipedia is nothing but the library, man. Like the PhD tell you, it's a quick reference. All that information on Wikipedia came out of the library. You got citations, you got footnotes, you got references. So make sure you pay attention to that. And like I said before, man, I mean it. Don't come to me with that damn monism no more. Don't even try that nonsense, man. See, the Indo-European in the past, they made up a lot of nonsense, man. All that Gnostic and monist and all this. All they did is just made up a lot of shit just to come to keep arguing and confusing people over nothing. And then the thing about it, man, see, that's the reason why I was reading African traditional religion. What I was trying to show you is this. When the scientists when the scientists do research, and when they was trying to say about polytheistic, people have always, that polytheism came first. This is what I want you to see. When the scientists and the researchers say polytheism, that ancient people were practicing polytheistic faith and nature-based, fertility and ancestor worship and all this. When you talk about African traditional religion or traditional African religion, ancient African religion, you see that there was a one God amongst the people. And the tradition was passed down orally from generation to generation, but it was always, they had this belief that there was a supreme being, may be distant, and it may be this what they call it, like it's a polytheist or pantheon of lesser deities and gods, but it really didn't. It was like an aspect, but it really didn't mean that it was like was really worshiping those beings, but they were still being obedient to the supreme being, to that one, by acknowledging and recognizing that so-called polytheistic or pantheon of beings. So you had to see, that's the reason why when you study, if you're not actually from just like my family, I can talk about my family because I'm a member of the family directly. Because my mama and my dad, I can talk about mom and dad because they my parents. I can talk about my sibling because that's my sibling. I can talk about my uncle, my aunt, my grandmama, my granddad, my cousin, because I'm a member of the family, immediate and extended. I'm a member of the family. But when you not, then you going by what's on paper. See, all those traditions and all this information passed down orally. But then you had the people that was in Ghana, and the people in Nigeria, and the people in the Congo, and the people who were all the same people, and they were all passing down this tradition orally. That's how they interacted, not only with the people that was close to them, but as well as the people who were not close to them. It was a tradition that was passed down orally, and they all were teaching the same thing. That there was this supreme being, may be distant, but then all the people were teaching similar teachings orally, and it was all oral. So you have to pay attention to the things that be in front of you. You don't take information in. Like I said, man, you need to comprehend what you read. Don't come up with this monist shit. Them Indo-European made that nonsense up. So don't bring that monist shit up and think you're going to get somewhere. I done told your ass, you're going to get your ass killed. I done told you, ain't going to show you. So you keep walking your ass around and think you're going to get away with it. See, what the Indo-Europeans did with their slavery shit, trying to deny people education, they ain't going to teach you what they want to teach you. And like I said, you know, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end. I'm really going to end it. I'm glad I said something about it because it came back to my mind. I wanted to make sure because I'm coming back on my next video. But it was really, really, really something important, talking about history. And I know this year made mention about building music and opportunity, because there are many opportunities. Many opportunities. My harmonica. My harmonica opportunity. And I'm getting ready to end the day video, but I'm going to touch on this. See, just like we were talking about history, which is important. And when you try to, you know, oh yeah, as long as I practice, I can aspire to be like Sonny Boy Williamson. I ain't got to be Sonny Boy Williams. Only one Sonny Boy Williams. But you can have somebody you can look at it and be like, man, I want to be just like, you know, I want to. Hey, so if I practice, might not be better. I ain't got to be better. But I can always have some, you know, aspire to be like Sonny Boy Williams, my harmonica. But I want to say this, you know, about music and about entertainment, just like vaudeville and all that. Ragtime. Ragtime is the basis of blues and jazz. It wouldn't be no jazz, wouldn't be no blues without ragtime. And before ragtime, you really had improvisation. Because we as Black/African American were forcibly brought over here, but the first group of slaves who came up were educated. And so they made some instruments, the diddly bow, the bongo, the banjo, the instruments that our ancestors who were forcibly brought from their homeland to the Americas. And there's some more instruments in like Central America, South America, the Caribbean. There's some more instruments. But here in the United States of America, we know that the diddly bow and the banjo were right here in America. Right here in America. Now when it comes to the like beating on drums and like the bongo and the conga, you know, some instruments were made like I think in Cuba. They made an instrument in Cuba. I think that's where the conga or the bongo came. And some more instruments, you know, but it's, you know, these instruments were made by slaves who came from sub-Saharan Africa. That's the point we want to make. And this is that our culture and custom is important, and that we don't negate the suffering, the oppression that we as Black/African Americans have endured. I'm glad that, you know, many, you know, the NAACP and the Urban League after the so-called Republican passed this stupid law with this damn line here in the state of Tennessee, but it ain't just here in the state of Tennessee, it's all around the United States of America. This stupid line. We got rights. We as Black/African Americans got a right, and we got a voice, because we taxpayers and we citizens of this country. The first and Native Americans, indigenous Americans, They got rights. They got a right to have something to say about a line. All of us citizens, Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, just Americans. We all got a say in the government. Everyone. Like the Constitution say, a government by the people, for the people. A government by the people, for the people. Who is the people? The first Native American, Indigenous American, the Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, all of us, black/African American, we Americans. By America, by the people, for the people. So we the people. And that when it comes to entertainment or whatever, we the people. So our history, our culture, and our custom is not something that we sweep under the rug, because there's a lot of things that jog my memory. It's just like I was hearing. Reason why I say things about it, because I really didn't know what the reason was, and I still don't see no reason why. Because Rufus Thomas from right here, I don't see any, R&B and soul music is R&B and soul music. Blues is blues. You can take whatever instrument you want. That's the reason why, like I said, you try to kick people out. That's what it sounds like. Just another way for you to try to kick people out. And like I always been saying, hey, many of the people that go to these historically black colleges and universities, they some of the most talented, including the women, some of the most talented artists, musicians, and vocalists, some of the most talented, and get kicked out. And it's not right. It's not right. For no reason. No valid reason. No reason at all. And just because they got a DJ machine, there ain't no reason for you to try to kick anybody else out. None whatsoever. No reason at all. It's just like when Rufus Thomas did the funky chicken. It may look funny, but it was a dance. The breakdown. And because of Rufus Thomas, as well as others, you wouldn't be able to do what you do. Just like tap dancing. We have to appreciate all the contribution that we as black/African Americans have contributed. And see, the reason why I wanted to say something about this, because of when I seen a documentary, and that's the reason why I'm finna get ready to end today's video. But it was a documentary. I'm glad we got YouTube, because there's a lot of history, just like the reels and things like, not just YouTube, but they got these reels now, and they got a lot of history on there. And they were talking about this documentary, and they were talking about sharecropping down in Texas, as well as in other parts of America. But it was just this particular family that they showed. It was a black family. And I'm finna get ready to end today's video, but I want to make, if you had an opportunity, I seen this reel on what's it called, Roots Preserved. Roots Preserved. And then I'll be looking at these other reels like Black History Unfiltered. And it's just a lot of black history on these reels and YouTube videos, whatever. You should pay attention. Because when you want to talk about cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, that's the reason why I was looking at this reel. And when I seen it, it was a documentary. It was about this black family who was sharecropping. They had livestock and everything. They were talking about the life and things. When they were talking about them, they were showing this family. And this black man, I knew he was uneducated. I just knew it when they were talking to him, and they had some of these white people around. Yeah, don't sound like they had no damn education either. But the man had a wife, Even though he was uneducated, he had a wife and about 7 or 8 kids. And they were all there at his shack, at their shack. and they were showing how the sharecropper. I looked at how he was dressed, and I looked at how his wife was dressed, and what they could afford. He was always in debt to the white man. The white man owned, like they say about sharecropping. The government tried to do one thing, and then he always signing some paper with an X or something. And he always in debt to the white man. Always. He don't never get out of debt. He always owe the white man something. And so I was looking at the way he was dressed, and I looked at what the work he was doing. It didn't look like no glamorous way of life in the way he was living. I looked at the livestock and everything, how he was, doing work with a plow in the 60s. But he ain't had no modern equipment. But he was still using livestock to pull the plow. And I just looked at how he was dressed, and I looked at how his wife was dressed. It didn't look like he had no glamorous life. It didn't look like there was anything glamorous about being on a farm, being country. It didn't look like it was anything glamorous. It was a hard life for him and his children. And I looked at the little children. They ain't have nothing. It wasn't nothing clean. They had no clean running water or nothing. It wasn't anything that you want to brag about. That you want to say, if I wanted to sing about it, I'd be singing because I'm protesting. I'd be saying the same thing that Sliding Family Stone. I'd be saying, stand. Stand for your rights. Because I'd be trying to stand up against this damn shit. But that's the point I wanted to make. When you had the opportunity to watch these documentaries, and when you pay attention to Black history that's on social media, because that's why I see it's a lot of reels and like Black History Unfiltered, Roots Preserved. It could be all kind of stuff. Sometimes it be individuals just talking about history or some kind of subject about us as Black/African American. It could be a subject about today. And then sometimes it be a lot of stuff about history in the past. I learned a lot. I'm talking about, I appreciate because I'm learning about all these damn inventions. That's another thing I want to appreciate. The contributions that we as Black/African Americans have made and are making. And a lot of them goddamn inventions was invented by somebody who didn't even have education. I appreciate somebody taking the time to make a reel and talk about the history. Just like some of these cities and like Mount Bound, what they call it? Mount Bound, Mississippi somewhere. Some of these places where we as Black/African Americans founded these places. These cities, these towns. One founded by whites, but it was actually founded by us. Black/African Americans. Hell, I seen a reel yesterday about the airport up there in Chicago. By the black men. It was the damn airport outside of Chicago, Illinois. Because discrimination. The black men got shovels and made an airport. Because we were being discriminated against, being denied opportunity. So the black men who could fly, they picked up a shovel and built a damn airport. Then they came through and destroyed it. A storm came through and destroyed the airport, and they couldn't get rebuilt. But just the thought that black men wasn't going to let anybody keep them from being able to provide for themselves. So goddamn, they pick up a shovel and they built an airport right outside of Chicago. But when I was watching a reel, Black History Unfiltered. There's a lot of history on there. Roots Preserved, like I said, a documentary. Pay attention to the history. You'll learn something. Hey, I gotta get off here, man. I gotta end today's video. We're gonna come back. But I wanted to end it. I didn't want to forget because it was on my heart. It was on my heart. I don't want. Like I said, I'm just gonna say this. I didn't really want none of the women. Cause when we build this band, man, that's one thing I didn't never want to do. Is have the women sitting around. You already been kicked out. Every like I said, man, hey, just because you already graduated, that that don't mean that like you weren't even welcome or nothing like that, man. You too old, man. Man, you don't tell no person. No, man. I don't want, man. I don't want nobody who was in school when I was in high school. I'm just gonna say this. Hey, I don't want nobody who was in college in 1990 and got a goddamn video they was in the band. I don't want nobody to show me no damn video. Like, man, who the hell you think you talking to? Do you see this damn YouTube video? That's me right there. I was in the 5th Jubilee single. God damn it. And you ain't gonna tell me what I can't get. No, I wasn't trying to say nothing. It was me. I was the one trying to say that. That's what I didn't want to do. But that goddamn it, that's me right there in 1990 at Fisk University. I was in a 5th Jubilee single. Okay. First, excuse me, man. It wasn't me. I wasn't saying that. I was saying that, you know what I'm saying? That's your spot. That's what I was trying to say. Somebody else said something. I didn't say it. I was the one saying, man, that's your spot. That's what I was saying. It's whether to all the other men and women in the choir. That's your spot, man. You know? I don't want you to show me no video, man. Try to put me in my place like I said something. Like I said something. I didn't say nothing. I tried to tell the bassoon player and the oboe, they want to whoop my ass now. Like I said, like I kicked them out. Now the French horn player want to jack me up. I'm like, man, it was me, man, I'm the one talking about concerto. It was me. I'm trying to tell I didn't understand why I didn't hear the concerto, man. Now the clarinet player want to bust me upside the head with the clarinet and shit. You know. And speaking of trying to bust somebody over the head, you know what? Yesterday was Sunday. What did I tell you? To call Sunday evening WDIA and request Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers. You forgot. I'm gonna come back on my next video. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also on my BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis in the county sheriff of the state of Tennessee. Thank all my fans, my support for your continued courage support. And take care of yourself. I wish each and every one of you very bad. I'm gonna come back on my next video. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. Take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you very best.